What's up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here. We are back in the world of Big Dig. Almost said World of Minecraft again. And today we're going to start playing around with a different mod. It's a mod that I haven't looked at exclusively yet. This mod is called Liquid Metals, I think it is. And we're going to be doing, basically playing around extensively with this. What this basically does is it turns metals into liquids, and in the process it triples them. So where most mods will double, this is supposed to triple. Now, I haven't actually played with this mod before, so odds are there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve in it. So do bear with me while I learn all the little pieces of the mod and the little nuances, etc., etc. Now, the first thing we're going to make is the ore pulverizer. Now, to do this, we need a few basic materials. I think this is the wooden conductive pipe. There we go. All right, so for this, and I'm going to go ahead and make this pattern into, on the off chance that we need more than one, I'm going to go ahead and make this pattern with our ME crafting system. And I'm probably going to do it with all of the art, or the liquid metal stuff, just because it'll let me mass produce it if I need to. So this first thing is the pulverizer. Got one block there, and then we put our wooden conductive pipe there. There we go, rock pulverizer. Now I believe this mod has been updated either since I looked at the wiki, or the wiki is outdated. I'm not sure which. So one of the two is a little outdated. So the name may vary based on what you're seeing. Come on now. Whoops. I guess it would help if I put all the materials that I just made in here, huh? Yeah. There we go. So now we have our rock pulverizer. Now this one right here, and I'm going to go ahead and set all of this stuff up, I believe, over here on this line for now. It's just going to make things a little bit easier. Let me get rid of all this forestry stuff since we're not needing it at the current time. Wow, that was a lot of stuff in there I forgot I had. There we go. All right, so we're going to put the rock crushing thing right here. And we want this to go into it, not out of it. And from what I understand, this just simply dumps, this turns ore into ore gravel. Now, the next thing we're going to need is a rough grinder. So the rough grinder should be a little bit easier of a recipe. It's going to need a pulverizer in it as well, so it's a good thing that I went ahead and made an extra. So we're going to go ahead and make the pulverizer, and then we need 2 iron gears and a stone conductive pipe. So let's do the pulverizer first. So we'll go ahead and make one of those. Now we need, what is it? 2 iron gears? Yes. Wait, which pipe is that? Stone. Okay, so let's do iron. Where are our gears? Let's make 2 of these. There we go. Got our 2 iron gears. And then I think it was a stone conductive pipe, if I remember right. Go ahead and make 1. Okay. All right, so let's come over here and make the recipe. I didn't get the gold. Here I am looking at the damn recipe, and I'm not grabbing everything I need. All right, let's make sure just one more time. Yeah, stone conductive pipe, which we've got. All right. Let's go ahead and put our little, put our little encoder right there. And then it's bam, 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 surrounded in gold. And then on the top, we need the conductive pipe. And there we go. There is our rough grinder. So go ahead and encode that. Pop that out. Put it in there. And I know we're going to need at least one of these. So let's look for the grinder. Go ahead and click, well, let's put all this stuff back in so that it can use the materials. All right, grinder. Begin. And there we go. Now we've got our rough grinder, which we're going to set on top of this one. Now the reason I'm doing it on top up here is for a couple reasons. One, I'm not quite sure. Damn it. Not quite sure if we're going to need to move stuff back and forth between these. I don't think they pass, unfortunately, like thermal expansion does. It'd be really nice if they did, but I think we're going to have to use a pipe system to move it back and forth. All right, so now that we've got our pulverizer and our grinder, we now need a fine grinder. So the fine grinder, I believe we'll also need the previous machine. Yep, we're going to need a rough grinder, golden conductive pipes, and 2 gold gears. So rough grinder. Which I'm hoping we have all the parts for. All right, let's make our gold gears, and then I'll come back to that. Gold gears. I need 1 more of those. And then diamonds. And what am I missing now? Just the gold conductive pipe. And the other thing that is not liking me for some reason. Okay, let's see if I can figure out why the rough grinder is not making. Try one more time. Okay, so the rough grinder is freezing up on us. So let's do the ore pulverizer and see if that fixes it. Okay, so it looks like, it's the iron block that we're missing. Let's fix that real quick. I thought when I first made this that these machines wouldn't need each other, but now looking at it, damn it. There we go. Encode. Iron block. Adding this to the machine, and that should fix it. That's the bottleneck that we were having. All right, so rough. We now have 2 rough grinders. Yay! All right, so now we've got a rough grinder. We've got all the other pieces that we need. Let's come over here, make the recipe here as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Both gold gears on the side, and I believe this up top. And there's our fine grinder. Pop that out. Begin. All right, there we go. We've got our fine grinder now. So we'll bring this back over here, and we're going to set it up right next to the other one. There we go. All right, and so finally, well, actually we got 2 more machines we need. We now need an arc furnace, which is going to need 1 diamond gear. I believe that's it. Arc furnace needs 1 diamond gear and 1 golden conductive pipe. So diamond, we'll make 1 diamond gear. And see, this right here is the type of stuff that makes it so much easier to do these bulk craftings like this, because it's a pain in the ass to go through and get all these things set up normally. So with this right here, you know, I don't have to go and make all 5 different versions of the gears to get the one thing that I need, and it just makes it a lot easier. Did I pick up iron? Yeah. Okay, so this is the arc furnace. So we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This on the bottom, this on the top, well in the middle, and then that on the top. And there's our arc furnace. Encode. Place you in here. One, please. There we go. I'm going to come back over here and set this on top. Now, it's possible that these machines may pass. So when I get to the part where we go over the setup, then we may change the way this is all set up. I'll have to look into it first. All right, and so the final thing that we need is the ingot former. So I need 1 tank, and then I need 1 golden gear. Okay, there's that. There's our tank. And then the rest is just iron bars. There we go. And this is what actually turns the liquid metal back into an ingot. Alright, so let's get the ingot former. And there we go. Alright, so now we have the entire line of machines finished. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little bit of research, make sure I've got it all set up, and I'll show you guys how to turn your ingots from the basic phase all the way to the end. Alright, so after just a little bit of playing around, we've got it all figured out, and I want to show you guys how this mod works. So first off, we've got the rock pulverizer. Make sure that you put in at least 2 ores, because it requires 2 ores to function to begin with. So right now we've got some iron going in. We put 1 stack of 64 iron in. Now I'm going to go ahead and start moving this stuff along in the process so that once we get done, you guys don't have to wait forever to kind of see it. Now this process should more than 2x the amount of ores. I'm not sure the exact amount, but it's fairly substantial. I did do a little bit of testing in my tests. I did this over here, but unfortunately we had to move the machine a few times because it was being a little hinky and wouldn't work. Basically, this is the way I got it to work. I've got a liquid duct running through the arc furnace on the out. You have to have a red power or a redstone signal. I'm using a torch. And then up into the ingot former. Now the ingot former, unlike the rest of the stuff, does not need any power of any kind. That being said, it does seem to be a little finicky on how it's going to work. I was feeding stuff into the right side and it just sat there and wasn't doing anything, which kind of annoyed me and made me angry. But once we moved it over here we moved it next to the steam engine. It's not hooked up to the steam engine. The steam engine will not connect to it, nor will redstone power cables. So I'm not sure what the significance of moving it over here was. We had it right here earlier and it wouldn't function. So it could have been just because it was near a redstone condo, or what do you call them? I honestly do not remember the name of that. What is this thing? Redstone energy cell. It may have just been because it was near an energy cell. I don't know. Now I've put the finalized ore dust in here, and you can see this is the heat up meter. Once it's heated up, it will move at a brisk pace. You can see it is now dumping directly into the ingot former, and the ingot former is now spitting out ingots. So let's make sure that we've gotten everything out of here. There we go. And this process is pretty fast. Now I'm going to be setting this up with ME to where ingots are put in and dust is pulled out, put in, pull out, put in and pulled out, and then we'll have the finalized products just going into here to get cooked. So we're just going to have to wait until we get all of this finalized. I wanted to make sure it worked before I spent all that time, wiring everything up. But you can already see that it's going to be producing a hell of a lot of materials. It should be about, I think the mod author said 2.8 to 1. So that's almost 3x what your normal rate is. So we've gotten 33 ingots so far. This is still full, and we've still got a ton of more stuff to go. So, as much as I love thermal expansion, it's probably one of my favorite mods, and the 2x is really cool. The main, going 3 is always better, getting the most for your bang for your buck. And there's another mod, factorization, which will allow you to, I believe, triple your ore. The problem with factorization has always been it just takes, it takes forever. I think factorization takes 20 minutes to basically do this process right here. And, it's nice that it duplicates your ore, but 20 minutes is a little bit long. So with this process, it's pretty damn fast. The power consumption doesn't seem to be too terrible. You can see with the arc furnace fully heated up here that not a lot of power is making it to my energy cell, but enough is being passed to basically maintain my farms and everything else. So I'm not sure exactly how much juice is being used by this. I will test that probably tomorrow once I get all of this sorted and automated with ME. So there we go. We've got 35 ingots in there. We've already made one full stack. We're coming up on probably a stack and a half. We've still got 20 something ingots left in here. And I think I've got everything out of the rest of these. Yeah, so we're clear. So now it's just how much will this do? So my last test, I got almost 2 stacks, but like I said, we did have to move the machine and break a bunch of liquid ducts. So I'm expecting to get about a stack and a half out of this. Hopefully. All right, there we go. You can see the liquid ducts are full to the brim. This is still full. It's still filling. That's the nice thing about liquid ducts. They actually have their own capacity. So you can, the longer that the liquid duct system is, the further it, or the more it will actually hold per pipe, which kind of allows you to get a little bit, kind of cheat the storage system just a tad. Good God, we still haven't completely drained that. But again, be careful with this machine here. I don't understand why it's working here, but it wasn't working over there. The website says that this machine right here does not require steam at all, or any power at all. However, everything else will require MJs. As you can see, I've got everything else hooked up down here with my little tray system. So keep that in mind. You may have to play around and move it a little bit to make it function. I'm feeding it from the left side. I was able to feed it from the right side, but again, the machine wouldn't work. So I'm hoping the machine was just being a pain in the ass and it was bugged out at the time for some reason, and then I can move it. What I'm probably going to do, I've got to make 3 more ME import and export buses. And then I've got my little setup run over here, which I honestly don't remember where I'm running that. I think actually that's where we're running up to the top, I believe. Yeah. So that right there is where we go up to the top to get to our fermenters. So I'm just going to run, I'm probably going to move this stuff over to this area here, and we're going to do all of our importing and exporting right through here. I'm not going to need these furnaces anymore, and we should be just fine doing that. All right, so we've turned 1 stack into 2 and almost a half stacks now. And we've still got plenty to go. So with the import-export buses, basically we'll import all ores into this machine, pull out all dusts, import into this one, pull out all dust, import into this one, pull out all dust, and then import into there. And then from here, we'll just export out the finalized products. And I don't think it's going to keep up with a quarry. I mean, it's pretty fast. I mean, it's nothing compared to a rotary macerator or what do you call it? One of the induction furnaces from IC2, but it's still pretty quick. I mean, this is at least as fast, if not possibly a little bit faster than thermal expansion. So I think it's pretty quick. You know, for me, it'll probably work. I may make 2 of these at a time. Now, one of the other machines I did want to show you guys before I get, and we're going to go ahead and just creative this one in. I believe it's liquid crafting. Yes. With a liquid crafting table, let me go ahead and get rid of these. You can actually store all of this liquid right here into pipes. So you could put that into a BuildCraft setup. And with this, you've got your different colors here. You can connect all of these different, or 3 different colors of stuff. So like iron, copper, and tin, you could connect to this table. And then you can just, I forget how you work, but you actually select these colors into the crafting recipe, and it will dump the liquid into here, and then that'll form an ingot and allow you to go that route. So that gives you another option to use it, so you can actually store the liquids. Since I have an ME system, I'd rather just flat out store the raw ingots in there. But as you can see, we turned 1 stack of iron into almost 3 stacks of iron. So that's not too shabby. It's not quite 3xing, but it's pretty damn close. So I think I'm going to be moving all of my thermal expansion stuff over to liquid metals, and we'll get this automated for the next episode. Anyways, hopefully you guys like this video. If you do, please click the like button. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.